see. Here we go. Another video. Hope you're well. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in a more relaxed video, sitting down. What's the time? It's just gone 11:30 on Sunday morning. Cup of tea. I've got the apartment to myself, so I'm going to show some records. These are finds going back maybe 5 months. There's about 7 records here, so we'll get into it. What's happening in the background is the third album by Brazilian tropicália band Os Mutantes. This is their third release from, Jesus, was it 1967, something like that? Yeah, so the first 2 records were definitely a lot more tropicália influence. This is moving more away from that sound into, I guess, more like a rock, even bits of like California psychedelic, a bit more, even more funky and jazzy, away from a more garage psych sort of sound. It's still like a batshit weird, crazy. You know, I suppose it doesn't really help that they don't speak in English anyway, so I don't know what they're saying. But I think this is my favourite of the. I only know the first 3 records. Of course, the first one contains like those 3 classic tracks that I've forgotten the names of because they're in Brazilian. But yeah, this is my favourite, I think. It's a really great record. But yeah, again, moving to a more polished sound and more produced sound. I mean, I'm guessing probably because like Gilberto and Caetano Veloso at this point they went to, I think they were exiled out of Brazil, and they probably didn't have as much influence. But yeah, there we go. This is really cool. If you like what you're hearing, please check this out. A Divina Commedia which I'm guessing that means the Divine Comedy, or it's obviously Latin. That's a complete guess. I'm guessing it means it's the Divine Comedy. Yeah, very cool. I mean, it's like this weird thing. There's like lots of like religious references on the album here and the album cover. This is, I didn't even say what this is. This is a sort of weird reissue from like 2009 or something. It's one of those Universal Special Markets things. But I got it pretty cheap and it sounds great, so I'm happy with that. Yeah. I'm always super paranoid that the music's too loud, so I'm going to turn it down. And then you can never hear it. I need to mark on the thing what the perfect level is for these videos. Okay. Moving in a different direction. Yeah, we'll move in a different direction. This is Swervedriver's Mezcal Head. This is their second record, isn't it? Yeah, the second record from 93. End of 93, I think this came out. This is the Music on Vinyl reissue from last year. So I'm a massive fan of Raise, their first record, and one of the first Swervedriver record I got into was their third record, which is called 99th Dream. It has a track called Expressway on it, which I love. It's up there with my top Swervedriver tracks. I might put a link to the YouTube video of that below, because I love it. This is yeah, their second release. A lot more polished, a lot more driving. It's on a mezcal covered vinyl. Yeah, I feel it's probably, I don't know how to say this. I suppose it's less shoegazy and more leaning towards a driving rock sound. They still have those big sounding guitars and rhythms, but it's a lot tighter. It was really a template, you know, for the way that shoegaze music would go and morph into rock sounds, I guess. Yeah, I guess in that respect is kind of an important thing in that, yeah, it's like shoegaze with balls or with attitude. Yeah, it sounds awesome too. They've done a really great job of music on vinyl. So yeah, it's a really nice package. It comes with this really cool booklet. So I mean, for me, it's it could be, I think my favourite Swervedriver track is on here, which is a track called Duress, which is the second to last song. It's just like an absolutely monster song. I think it's about like withdrawals from heroin addiction. It just sounds like this really dark, swirling monster sound that really drags you in. I love it. You know, you find it everywhere. The last track is really great too, and Blow and Cool was cool. But I think overall I like Raise more, but this has like 2 or 3, you know, amazing tracks. So there you go, Mescal Head, Swervedriver. Very happy to get that. We've got some jazz stuff coming up. Another reissue. I'm so late to the bloody bandwagon on this record. I've only recently sort of warmed to it in the past year or so, and I finally got around to picking it up. This is the Rhino analog pressing, the one that everyone raves about, the one that's the best sounding pressing, and it does sound absolutely marvellous. As I said before, I'm very slow getting into 60s psych and stuff like that, and I'm still learning a lot of stuff. The reason I've always sort of been intrigued about this record is because the opening track, Alone Again Or, is covered by one of my favourite bands, you know, maybe for nostalgia reasons, Calexico, who I've seen played a shitload of times, and they've played that song, and it's on a few albums that they cover Alone Again Or. And for years, I assumed Calexico wrote that song. I had no idea it was a cover until I discovered that it was, you know, the Love version. So that was something that intrigued me about this band. I subsequently read a lot about how Calexico were influenced by this album and what it meant, and that sort of drawn me into it a bit more. So listening to it from that point of view, I can totally hear Calexico references to this in a strange way. In terms of the dusty, it has like to me, this is what I'm taking from it. It has like a really dusty, it does almost have a film, not soundtracky, but sort of a film aesthetic to it. Yeah, I don't know, it sounds a bit deserty, and like the horns, and I don't know, it has like a grainy sound, or it's not grainy, that's not really the way to describe it, but I can hear connections between what Calexico have taken it from this album and made in their own work, which was a really cool discovery for me. Yeah, I love this. It's written here. It's the 40th on the Rolling Stone list of greatest albums of all time. You know, it's great. It's really great. Yeah, there you go. Finally have this. It's a benchmark. So yeah, I'm obsessed with this one at the moment. I was just playing it before. Okay, we'll go a bit further in the same direction, and then we'll get some jazz. This is a record again that I've seen and I've passed over it, you know, tens of times over for whatever reason. But people post it. People have been posting it for years. It's been, you know, shown in the VC hundreds of times. Always been sort of interested, but not really knowing what it was. I saw this for $4, and the record is in mint condition. It's got a bit of water damage. But, you know, I gave it a whirl, and I love it. I really, really like this record. I assume it's a later US pressing. I don't know, maybe it's an Australian pressing. Yeah, I think it's an Australian pressing, there we go. It's a later Australian pressing. Yeah, I guess these guys they came out of the San Francisco Summer of Love 60s sort of scene. I think they were related or friends with like Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane and stuff like that. Really, really great Psych. It's classed as a Psych record, but it's got like I think they're a husband and wife duo vocals running through it. It doesn't, you know, there's a couple of moments where it gets a bit freaky, but it's quite laid back. It's quite a cool record. You all know this record. I don't need to talk about it. Totally worth what I paid for it. You know, I'm really happy I have this. And I can't believe it took me so long to hear it. So there we go. Amazing. Okay. We got some jazzy and some sort of funky stuff going on next. I did some trades at a local store, my local store, Death Ray Records. I picked up this reissue that just came out, was it last month? Song of Innocence. One Song of Innocence. but there's one song called Song of Innocence, and the rest, I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay, so obviously this was sampled massively by hip hop heads and breaks heads and stuff like that. This is a record that I've known about obviously for a very long time, but there's been questionable reissues floating around. Those special market ones that I didn't want to get, and I didn't want to drop a lot of money on an original. So it's nice to get a proper official reissue done by Now Again. This comes with a really nice booklet. Really nice thick sleeve. So this is, I haven't read this yet, which I need to get around to, but it's a massive booklet. There's an interview with David Axelrod and the label and why this album wasn't pushed from the marketing department. They talk about, there's 3 Axelrod records, it's not just about the one. Yeah, it's super interesting. That's the good stuff. The bad stuff. The pressing is shit. Now Again, I don't know if you can see, but it comes with these greasy thumbprints on the label. It's already, if that'll focus, it's already cracked around here. This is really sharp on the edge. I actually had to pull off bits of plastic around here. I haven't cleaned this yet, but there's scuffs all over this, there's dirt all over this. I played this twice, but still the marks, the marks and dust. I don't think I've played side 2 yet. Anyway, not great. Now Again, I think, are actually, for the prices they charge, the pressings are terrible. I mean, it sounds fine, it sounds good, it sounds decent. It's one of those records where you want it to sound absolutely huge and powerful, you want it to sound dramatic, you want those strings to jump out at you, you want the groove to be in there. Like, it's a big sounding record, like it's, orchestration. I know what I want it to sound like, I know what it should sound like, but it doesn't have that. I don't know how to describe it. It's fine, I just was expecting a lot more, being, a remastered from whatever the original tapes, whatever this hype sticker says on it. So overall I'm a bit disappointed with it. But then there's no, unless you want to get a really clean original, which will be so expensive these days. So yeah, I suppose I'm disappointed. But it's nice to have the music on vinyl, so that's that. It's a shame. It's a shame overall. I've got a couple of Now Again stuff, and especially the. Do you guys remember the Stark Reality reissue that came out, like the 3LP thing that came out a couple of years ago? I'm not sure how available that is these days, but that was also for me terrible. One of them was warped. There was like shitty bits of plastic everywhere. It was just quality control, which sucks. Anyway. 3 more to go. Okay, this is one that has been on my list for a very long time. When this first got reissued in like 2012, I think I was about, was it 2012? Yeah. About 8 months too late on it, and it sold out. And for a while there, this was quite expensive to get on Discogs. It's recently dropped back down to around $50, but I managed to get a copy online for half that. So I paid $25 for this. Which I'm super happy about because I've been wanting it for a long time. Stanton Davis, Ghetto Mysticism is the name of the band and the collective, and the album's called Brighter Days. This is an amazing record, but it's so hard to describe. It's like, I've never used this term before, but I would say it's like psychedelic funk soul, sort of, but with themes of I don't want to say black power, but black oppression, and the theme of a brighter day, and the possibility of equal rights and stuff. It definitely does have that line or that feel about it. The songs have been quite political. Yeah, really cool. I mean, all I know about Stanton Davis is he played briefly with George Russell, and he was involved with a couple of the art ensemble sort of guys here and there. But yeah, I think this is a really unsung record. I did get a lot of hype when it first got reissued. I think it was 2012. Limited to 999 copies. So really happy. One of those records that I've been wanting for ages that isn't crazily priced. So yeah, I'm super stoked. It sounds really great, and it's on a really thick vinyl, thick gatefold. This is how a reissue should be done, check out the track Funky Fried Tofu. I love it. That's probably the most funk orientated song on here. Yeah, there you go. Great, great. I'm sure that's been sampled a lot too. Okay, go into some free jazz. This is the 2018 reissue. Machine Gun. Again, another one that's been on the want list for ages, but I didn't want to pay 150, 100 to 200 bucks for a copy. Yeah, obviously a massive free jazz record. Has all those guys related to FMP records. You know, I'm actually going to read out. I won't read out the names, but you know, Evan Parker. I'm going to read out the names. they're all on here. Yeah, absolute monster. This is. It's what I like about it is they've got this really good way of all playing off their own thing, but then they all come together quite frequently, and they just make this massive blast of sound, and then they go back and do their own things, and they come back in certain ways and just blast for a bit. I don't know how to. It's hard, but it's got this really fluid way of working. But there's so much shit going on. Yeah, this is fantastic. The record label that reissued this, Trust Records, has done a fantastic job replicating the. Oh, this is a bit tight. Replicating the artwork here. This is I don't know if you can catch that on the light. They've done this with a really nice spot, like a neon Pantone orange here, and it's sort of a textured thing, which is what the original presses came on, which is really awesome from a design point of view, because they could have just done a flat image. So it's really cool that they have this texture on here. Yeah, super blow your hair back stuff. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the label, which I think is a bit crap from a design point of view. But yeah, you've got to be in the mood for it. I had to get myself back into the mind space to get into this, because I was sort of in a... What is that? Live on camera from David. Hey man, record bug. Need your address, bro. Cool, that's a good one. Actually, I'm pretty sure David Belson, his channel is called Record Bug, may have switched me onto this record many years ago. I'm sure it was you, man. Anyway, good. Another one, Dave, that I know you would, I know you're a big fan of, is this record here. This is Mary Lou Williams. This is her first record. It later got reissued on MPS called Black Christ of the Andes. This is actually the original first pressing of it. I got this at a crazy cheap price, and I got a massive discount off it on top of that, which I'll explain in a moment. But yeah, okay, I'm really stoked. This is it got reissued on It's originally on. This is the original first pressing on Mary Records. And then it got reissued on Folkways, and then it later got reissued as Black Christ of the Andes on MPS. Wonderful gospel jazz record. Mary Williams is a piano player from Georgia. I think she was born in the 30s, and she played a lot of small jazz, and then she went on to experiment with choirs and gospel sounds and stuff. And yeah, the hymn Black Christ of the Andes itself is breathtaking. I think it's a really magic record. Here's the label, and the really cool thing about it, which I wasn't expecting at all, is I knew that the original copies come with a booklet, but they're very, very hard to find. This is talking about Mary Lou, and it's all about her history, lithographed in the USA, which is very cool. Look at that there. It's a Folkways booklet. Well, actually, maybe... Oh, you hear that? Everyone's worst nightmare. What I'll do is, I'm going to put a bit of this on, and I'll explain something. Just give me a moment. Okay, so this is what we got in the background. It's an awesome album. I mean, the track "The Devil" is probably my favourite on here. Now, the catch, which I realised wasn't listed on the website where I found this, is that this thing is pressed massively off-centre. And the weird thing is, the first side sounds fine. It sounds good, as you can hear here. There's nothing wrong with it, but the second side has this really strange effect where everything sounds like she's bending the piano in a really crazy, weird way. Like the pitch goes really off, like while she's playing. So I'm gonna flip the side, and I'll see if you can hear what I'm talking about. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but it's very strange. So this is only on side B, but everything's got a really weird wah. I don't know. We'll see if it comes out in the video. We'll go to here. I'll find a quieter track. You hear that? I don't think it's on what I've heard online. Wow, it's very hard to describe. Anyway, the cartridges, you probably can't see it. I don't know if you can even see that. I'll try and move the camera over without it falling over. You probably can't see, but... Oh, what happens if I do this? Look at that. Weird, right? So, anyway, that's the catch, and that really fucking sucks. But, you know, I ended up getting a further discount off it because it wasn't... Fucking hell, this camera. Yeah, I ended up getting a further discount just because they didn't note that it was pressed so badly, so I ended up paying just under $8 for it. So maybe it's meant to sound like this, I don't know. I've listened to it online and it doesn't sound quite as bad. I don't know. Anyway, that's my story. There's one more here, but I want to talk about it in a separate video because this is my mate's, just put this out. My good mate James, he put out this drum and bass record. Yeah, I'm going to try and give it a review, which will be super entertaining because I've got no idea what I'm going to say in regards to drum and bass. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Alright, have a good weekend. Yeah, I'll see you all soon. Cheers.